Welcome to Streamers Unmasked, everybody. Um, sorry, a little bit running behind, but welcome to Streamers Unmasked. Um, oh god, sorry. So it's starting. I apologize. Yeah, but welcome to Streamers Unmasked. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to subscribe and follow if you're enjoying the content. I suck right now. I can't even think properly. So this is a podcast where we're gonna find out about the real lives, loves, and maybe even libations of streamers that you know. Why Streamers Unmasked? Well, so I want to do this podcast because streaming content creation in general is difficult. Whether you started creating content to hang out with friends, to show off your skills in video games, or something else, to become rich and famous, no matter what your motivation behind starting streaming is, it is difficult. It's a rough journey. There's a million other people that you're competing with at any time, and there's about 100 different things you need to learn before you can even start streaming, and, a whole host of other things that come in the way as you continue on your journey. Different things to learn, different issues that come up, etc. And no matter why you started streaming, though, you come out here, you put yourself out on Twitch or YouTube or wherever you're creating content, and you hope to connect with people. No, and there's literally a chance that nobody will be there every time. No guaranteed success, and there's just a ton going on at all points. And streamers are everyday people with real lives, real feelings, real hopes, and real expectations. So they're not just like, for the most part, obviously they're the superstars, but most of us, we're just normal people that are trying to entertain you guys and trying our best. As always, I would like to start with a poem. It's a poem by Paul Lawrence Dunbar entitled "We Wear the Mask." We wear the mask that grins and lies. It hides our cheeks and shades our eyes. The debt we pay to human guile. With torn and bleeding hearts we smile. And mouthed with myriad subtleties. Why should the world be overwise in counting all our tears and sighs? Nay, let them only see us while we wear the mask. We smile, but oh great Christ, our cries to thee from tortured souls arise. We sing, but oh the clay is vile. Beneath her feet and long the mile. But let the world dream otherwise. We wear the mask. So, the name for the concept of this podcast actually comes from that poem. And the reason I connect with that poem is because we go out into our everyday lives and we put on a brave face. We put on a mask. We try our best to appeal to normalcy and to show everybody that we're doing okay, and sometimes we're not. Sometimes things are a lot more difficult. And as streamers, it is even more difficult because we wear a fancier, we wear a crazier mask than other people. We hide behind the content that we create, and we really do try our best to just be entertaining and to not let some of the more difficult aspects of streaming come through while we're streaming. So how the podcast works is we are going to go through the IRL, so that's real life questions. Then we'll move into a little bit of a gaming section, and usually we will finish off with the streaming section where we will do all of the podcasts. We will do all the questions for the podcast. But without further ado, our guest for the night, I should introduce you. She is an art streamer mostly, and she has done commissions for a couple of different people here on the platform. She actually did the gaming god that is on our stream, and I met her from Anthigator, Skizzle Wicked, Nefeo Unaleska. Welcome to the stream, RebecaDraws. How are you doing today, Rebeca?
Hello. Hi, I'm good. I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing okay. I'm a little bit flustered at the moment. As you can tell, trying to get everything done real quick
I totally get
and
that.
failing miserably because I usually set it up a
There.
little. I usually take that 10 minutes that I disappeared for to do absolutely everything. And also, I apparently can't write a fucking command to save my life. And I wrote a command when Joey was in the podcast, and I've had at least one female on here before. And turns out that yeah, I suck. Yeah, I suck.
Over there.
Yep. There we go. We finally fixed it though. I got it. We can have it's
All right.
they. Now that works for both genders. I
I'll
apologize.
take that. I'll take that.
Like, sorry for being a little bit.
It's
I usually
2021.
try to chill here. We got all the tech stuff worked out, and then I had to deal with something with the kids. But yeah. All right. Are you excited to be here, Rebecca?
I am. I'm really excited. I am pumped.
How about we start with some slightly easier stuff? The getting to know you.
All right.
I mean, of course, all these questions are feel free to answer. If you don't want to answer, just say pass because not everybody wants to tell us how old they are. But how old are you, Rebecca?
I am 32. Almost 33. Just a few days of my birthday, actually.
You don't look a day over 30 and a half. So,
Ooh, well,
well,
thank
where
you.
are you from, Rebecca?
I am from Mexico, Mexico City.
Mexico City, Mexico. Nice.
hmm
And what do you do for a living?
Currently, I am a marketing assistant for a coaching firm. But I've been a lot of things in my life. For the past 8 years, I've been like a nanny. I've been a um, video editor. I work at a radio station. I have worked in telemarketing, but I have done a lot of things. But currently, I do marketing and illustration.
Marketing and
I'm a children's
illustration.
book illustrator.
Yeah, you are doing a children's book, are you? So why don't you tell us a little about that children's book actually? What's going on with what you can share? Listen, like I don't want you to break any like NDRs or nothing. Just what you can share with us, Rebecca.
I am currently working for a friend in Mexico. She's a writer, and we are working on a good night book um, that it's about like the American continent. So it has animals. It's one of my favorite things to draw, and it's like a good night book, like starting from North America. We start with the U.S. and the eagles, the bears, and the in Canada, and then we go to Mexico, and then Latin America. So it's a really nice book. I cannot like I can talk about it. I just cannot show the illustrations because they need to be approved and everything.
Oh,
But
okay.
it was meant to be out. It was meant to be out in Christmas, so we're a little past due. But somewhere in August, hopefully, it will be out, and hopefully, it will be available worldwide to
Been
share.
kind of a crazy year or so, so I think we can forgive the fact that it's been delayed a little bit.
Of course, it's been just very crazy with COVID. The author has been going through lots of personal stuff with family. Two of her closest family members just passed away from COVID, and so she's been like stressed with paperwork and like with work and everything. So
Yeah.
um, and I had like a lot of work and everything. So we for our mental health, we decided to push it a little forward.
Sometimes it's really good to just slow things down, take a break for your mental health. I actually know a lot of streamers who've done that. Just been like, hey, you know what? I'm taking this time off because going crazy with all that's going on, and especially with trying to get back to work and all the other things going on. And then God forbid, dealing with the death of a family member too. That's just unfortunate.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you can't be 100% well with yourself, with like with your like current routine, with your current like the way you're living, and then you're trying to overdo more things for others, then it just gets too overwhelming, and like if you're an anxious person like I am, then it just too much. So. Sometimes it's nice to take breaks.
So, what is your educational background?
I have a degree in, so the name of my degree is Science and Techniques of Communication, basically communications. Uh, it involves like TV, radio, newspaper, like all the communication media around. So like I pretty much study that. Um, yeah, and that's what I've been doing back and forth for the past years.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Communications great. Speaking of communications, can't help but notice that you are bilingual, Rebecca.
See, see,
See.
señor.
So, when you were growing up, were you taught both English and Spanish? Did you learn Spanish and then you learned English later in your life? How did that work?
I was very lucky to grow up in a like my mom is a teacher, so she taught at a private school. So in private schools in Mexico, they teach you English. They do not in public schools, but in private schools they teach you English. So I was very lucky to grow up with like English teaching since I was in kindergarten. I think I learned mostly from books and video games and movies because I had an experience from teachers in high school that they were not that great. I used to correct them instead of them correct me because my English was better sometimes. Um, I was a nerd too, so I correct teachers. Why not? Um,
I remember those days, just like
so
sometimes being like, there are the kids that won't correct the teacher, and I was definitely one of those people also who would have just been like, no, you got to do this right, teacher.
oh, I had a teacher that oh my god, she will talk with this fake British accent. I
Oh,
mean,
God.
we're Mexicans, so like she will add a
No.
British accent to that, and she will like, oh, some water, like, and and she used to compare me a lot with my siblings. I'm the youngest of four, and all my siblings were to the same school. So once she she told me, if you don't like my class, you can leave, and I was like, fine, and I just took my backpack and left, and she was like, whoa, I was not expecting that. Like, I just don't like your class.
I think as far as school went, I think high school is probably the first point in your life where you start realizing that a lot of your teachers aren't always smarter than you.
Yeah,
Like you
pretty much.
start, because like obviously they're still teaching you their subjects and stuff, but they're not all equally gonna be on everybody's level. There will be a couple of kids that are definitely, just a little bit.
Yeah, it is. I used to be more like smarty pants when I was younger.
Yeah, I mean,
um,
I felt a lot smarter when I was in high school, and then I went to college, and then didn't do as well, and then totally didn't drop out, and then go back years later. Um, how how about your family? What is your family like?
um, well, as the stereotype says, I am Mexican, so we do have big families. Um, my mom is like the sixth child of a 10 kids family, so I am the fourth of a four children family. I'm the youngest of four siblings. And I have at least 40 first cousins. But I love it. I love having a big family. But yeah, I have one sister, two brothers that are older than me, and the baby.
Well, I think the one thing that's nice about a large family is that, generally speaking, you'd have a slightly larger support structure around you for the various things that you come to in your life, whether it's school, work, etc. You do have people there for you. Hopefully. Oh my god, I
Yeah,
shouldn't start talking, and then you're just like, no, they're not there. And then I'm just like,
I
awkwardly
live in a
pan out.
basement inside like a warehouse, but yeah, sure. No, just kidding.
What are they making in the warehouse, Rebecca?
uh, I mean, I hear screams. I hope it's just like movie making, but no, it isn't.
I hope it's movies, but I don't know.
I hope there's a film going on. I hear a chainsaw. That's okay, I guess.
It's a
They have to set up.
chainsaw. Oh, no. So are you a fan of horror movies, Rebecca? Are you trying to say?
I am actually a fan of horror movies. What how do you know?
I have no idea. What is your favorite horror movie, Rebecca?
um The Shining, I think.
Shining. Wait,
Yeah.
the original, I assume, right? Because I think there
Yeah,
was a
yeah.
remake. You're just like, yes, the original.
No, I mean I like the remake, but yeah, the original it's way better. Like that's probably one of my favorite ones. I like the originals. Uh Bilingual problems. I can't remember the name in English from this movie. Psychosis. The
Psycho.
one with the girl in the shower. Yeah,
Yeah,
that one.
Psycho. Yeah, that's actually my mother's favorite movie is the original Psycho because she's
Yeah.
also a horror movie buff, and when I was younger, I used to watch a whole bunch of different horror movies and stuff that now, honestly, probably can't handle as well. If anybody's seen me play any horror games, I'm a little bit jumpy. Okay.
You are you? Oh, poor
I
thing.
jumped playing God of War recently. Actually, an enemy came out of nowhere, and I just.
Scary.
Do you also read horror books then? Obviously, The Shining would be Stephen King. So, did you ever get a chance to read those?
I do. I'm a very big Stephen King fan. I don't have most of his books, but I have like rented them or like when live in the US, like I get them from the library. So like I read most of it. I have like maybe 6 books from him, um, including his autobiography that I love. But yeah, that's I love his books. Agatha Christie is more mystery, but I like her too.
Are you still able to keep up with reading in your adult life, or has it become harder? Because I know for me, I used to read way more when I was younger, and now that I'm older, it's like more of a novel idea. It's just like, oh yeah, I really should read more, become more studied, and then it's like I
And
pick up
then
a
you
book for
read
two
one page
seconds.
and you're like,
Oh yeah, falling asleep for sure. Unfortunately,
yeah, I can keep. I'm going back to reading actually. I am a big bookworm, but I kind of like stopped for a while because one of the jobs I had asked too much for me physically. So like once I had the chance to relax, only thing I wanted to do was to sleep. Um, so I will not be able to read. So I'm going back to read now. I'm very slow, but I've been accomplishing some books this year. What is good? Um, like I used to read, I don't know, 1 or 2 books a week sometimes, like years ago. So now I'm like achieving once a month like a book. So I'm getting there back there.
well, that's good. That's way more than I managed to read these this day and age. I actually, when I was driving, I got into audiobooks a lot because I could listen to them while I was doing other things. Have you ever listened to any audiobooks?
I do. I actually started listening more to podcasts than audiobooks at the beginning. Um, like I met this podcast called Potterless Podcast, I think it's called. So it's like a guy reading the Harry Potter books and like talking about it. Like he was reading them for the first time and he was like 26, I think. So it was very fun to hear his points of view. And I got clean into podcasts. So I have like a huge list of like comedy ones. Like there's one about like Mexican guys that are talking about like legends from like around the world, like about like serial killers or like aliens or I don't know things that
Oh,
happened years ago.
Legends. I thought you said leggings. I was like, leggings? Like this is a clothing podcast. Oh, clothing. Okay. Never
I
watched a
will
clothing
never hear
podcast.
a clothing podcast. I will never hear a clothing. Like that's probably one of my least interests in this world. Like I'm not
Yeah.
a
I
clothes
am
person.
I'm right there with you. I am never I just I probably shouldn't. Oh man, I just hate. I mean, if anybody could tell by the fact that I just wear different video game T-shirts all the time on stream, I just don't. I do not like. clothing, clothes shopping, anything to do with it. Like, just get me away.
Still can wear it one more day. That's fine. It doesn't matter.
My drawer is literally like brand new video game t-shirts and then like Disney shirts and then stuff like that, and that is just fucking it. It's not like, oh man, it's bad. It's bad.
I do
I
have
like
more
it.
variety than that, but yeah, I totally get you.
I mean, I have like work shirts and stuff. They're pretty fancy. No, they're just shitty black shirts that I wear to work.
I was gonna say, what did you like file as fancy?
Um, fancy is the one that has a pocket. So it's like a normal t-shirt, but it has a pocket. That's fancy. What did you think I
Pockets
meant
are
by
fancy.
fancy?
Somebody click that.
I certainly didn't mean like a dress shirt or any. I actually, so from the new job that I didn't end up getting, I got dress shirts and stuff. They do have fancier clothing now that one day will be put to good use, I hope.
Hopefully.
um, do you so do you watch cable? Do you watch Netflix? How do you consume your TV media? I guess would be what it's called.
That's a good question. So when I was a kid, I used to watch a lot of cable. Um, but as I grew up, like the busier I got, the less time I had to watch TV. I don't really watch TV that much anymore. I do watch sometimes Netflix, like Amazon Prime. Like I watch movies. Um, and like I'm trying to like get back into like TV, a few TV shows, and sometimes I watch like movies in Disney Plus. But yeah, like cable, I don't really watch it anymore. I think
Yeah, I don't. It costs a lot of money too. It costs a lot. You don't pay for it, do you? That would be sad.
I actually do. I that's like so I live with my parents right now.
Oh, okay.
Uh, and like part of my contribution to the house is I'm paying the Wi-Fi, the cable, and the phone service that it's like all together in one package. So it's part of my contribution to this family, so they don't kick me out to the warehouse or their screams.
I mean, all the horror movies. I mean, that's nice. I just I feel like as far as cable goes, like we I feel like our generation really is turning into the Netflix generation, and all of our parents all bought cable, and then the DVR came out, and then we started paying $100 for cable, and I just hate. I don't have any time for that bullshit. I'm like, I can watch Twitch, I can watch YouTube, Netflix, or whatever.
I could do the same. Like I could definitely go without the cable, but my parents are the ones
No,
who watch it.
yeah.
And I actually had to get like a little bit expensive package because they didn't have the channels that they wanted, and they're like, "Oh, but we want these channels." I was like, "Fine, we'll get those."
I mean,
And yeah,
in your situation, it's definitely understandable. If I was living with my mom, I guess I should say, I would definitely be paying for cable because she still watches her whatever. I feel like if you're older, getting towards retired, you deserve to watch your TV. Go ahead.
yeah, for sure. I mean, my dad mostly watches like sports. Like he's watching the baseball right now. Like my mom watches her telenovelas, like her talk shows and stuff like that. So it's a little bit of everything.
What kind of food do you like?
I like a lot of it. I mean, Mexican food obviously it's the best food in the world.
Oh yeah, just like the Mexican food I eat, right?
Uh, I mean,
Sure.
sure.
No, you're like no. No.
Actually, no.
Real
Like really,
Mexican
like
food.
the one we eat here in Mexico. Yeah, that's like my favorite food. And then I'm a lot into Asian food. I really like Thai food. I like Vietnamese food. Um, yeah, like I like seafood a lot. So like sushi and things like Japanese food in general. So uh, basically Asian and Mexican.
Do you cook at all?
Huh?
Do you cook at all?
I do. I actually cook today. I mean, I don't cook very often. I am a clumsy person, so you don't want to be anywhere near the
You haven't
kitchen.
lit the house on fire yet, have you?
Not yet.
Then we're doing okay. We're doing okay.
I have set a couple of pots on fire. I have
The
actually,
pots.
yeah. So I'm clumsy. I'm very distracted. So I actually I was using a frying pan, and I forgot to, I set it aside because I was gonna put a pot for the next thing, and I forgot to like move it. So like the handle got over the stove and it started start melting, and like I started getting that smell of like the plastic smell when it's burning, when it's melting, and I was like, ugh, like why is it smelling so bad? Like is it like rotten or something? Um, and I turned around and like the whole handle was on fire, like flames over, and it's like I was like, ah! That's me in the kitchen. But I do cook. I'm better baking. I think I'm better baking.
Oh yeah.
I'm
What do you
better
like
with
to
like a
bake?
set of instructions to follow.
What do you like to bake then?
I love to make churros. I don't know if that counts as baking, but I like to make churros, empanadas. Um, I like to bake cookies, cupcakes. I really like to make desserts a lot. So I have never made a pie, but I would like to try. I have made cakes. So, but my favorite thing to do is, I think, cookies.
Cookies are good. What kind of cookies?
Um, Traditional cookies like chocolate chip cookies or peanut butter cookies. Like some like orange cookies. I'm not very into complicated stuff, so like the easier the better. But I might try to attempt like to do more bold stuff for any kind of cooking. But I'll just stick with simple.
What kind of music do you like?
Music. I am very weird with music, so I do like to hear a little bit of everything. I know it sounds like a cliche, but there is a right now I'm a very into. Okay, so there's two genres I hear the most. One of them is rock. I do like to hear like old school rock or like new pop rock, something like that. And I love musical. So like I am a Broadway geek. So I love listening to musicals all over. Do you like
What
musicals?
is your least? I do like music. Sorry, my brain is just going slow right now for some reason. If nobody, the lag in between like all of my thoughts is like
Does your
palpable. Like I'm
brain is
literally
using
just here like, wait,
for video
uh,
games?
what? Is my face here? I don't even know. What is your least favorite kind of music?
Um, those are the two kinds that I don't like. I don't like. I don't know if anyone knows it here in the podcast, but it's one called reggaeton. It's like a very popular. So if you ever heard Daddy Yankee, that's kind of like the music I'm talking about. Or Bad Bunny, like if you ever heard about those two, that's the kind of music I really hate. It's very. I don't know if it's rap or hip hop or I don't know what the hell that kind
I
of
don't
music
know
is,
what the
but
fuck it is, but I don't like it.
too offensive. Way too offensive. Makes no sense, and it's especially offensive with women. So I hate that music, and especially the way people dances it because it's mostly twerking. So for me, that's not dancing. So I don't like that music at all. Um, and I will probably say I don't like the. I don't know if there's a name for that genre, but like the kind of like the one where people mostly screams all the time, like like there. I don't know.
Like
There's a
screamo
name for
music.
that. Yeah, kind of like that. I went to a concert of that, and it's like I felt like I was gonna get killed at some point. It's like I never want to listen to this anymore.
One Rebecca walks in, zero Rebecca's walk out.
But like those memes, like okay, and go back. Like
So,
I'm gone.
what kind of video games do you like, Rebecca?
Video games. What's that?
Video games? What's that? I know you're an art streamer, but I know some video games. Very limited maybe, but I know you like some of them.
I know. I'm just kidding. I'm just teasing. Video games. I really like. Our spelling is hard when you're bilingual. RPGs.
Yeah, RPGs, you got it.
Okay, RPG. Kind of like Legend of Zelda, kind of adventure games. I really like puzzle games, where
I
like
think
where
you
you
said
have to.
RPGs and then you said Legend of Zelda, and they're not the same thing, so I'm gonna pick on you right now.
I had no idea they were not the same thing, so never mind. That's how you
Zelda
know I'm not a
Zelda
gamer.
is like it's almost in a genre of its own, where like if you say Zelda, you know what it is because it's got like the puzzles in it and stuff, and it's like an action puzzle game. And then RPGs are role playing games where you generally have stats and stuff, and you learn skills over time.
Yeah. Okay, so never mind about. I guess I had played RPGs, but I had no idea they were not the same thing. But yeah, I like games like kind of like adventure games, kind of like where you play solo. I really um um like puzzle games. I am really into also like into games that are kind of like creative, where you have to create your characters, where you can create like the world around you. Maybe this a lot of people will just say boo right now, but I am a The Sims fan. Like I really like it, mostly
Boo!
because I will spend hours making a house or dressing my character because that's the kind of things I look I like.
Do you like character creation?
I love character creation. It's
What
one
is
of my
what is the
passions.
longest you think you've ever taken to create a character in a video?
um, my brother actually timed me out in once. Not my brother, my cousin. It probably took me about 2 hours to get one sim character done because I wanted it to be perfect because I like to create stories with them.
I
I like them to be my puppets, and I was a puppeteer.
think there are
I was
literally two kinds of people with character creation. I think there are the Rebecas of the world, and then there are the Zeldas of the world. AKA the people who love it and will go in depth and they want their character to be perfect, and then the person who goes, "Can I get the default character model, please?" I don't really think there. I don't really feel like there's an in between. I feel like it's literally either you love it and you're all there for it, or you're just like, never mind.
oh, whatever. I'm just gonna take the random one. Make it for me.
Yes, exactly. That's what I do. I mean, I
That's
won't even
not
hit
me at
random.
all.
That's too many buttons, Rebecca. Random, like no, you have to just the default one, just the default.
That's not me at all. Like I am very obsessive with those kind of details. Like I obsess about like I need the eyes to be the perfect size for the face, like the mouth, like I tiny every tiny like even when I was creating like when the Nintendo Wii came out, like you had the chance to create your me character. Even with the little options they had, I will spend at least half an hour making my own me because it's like I need it to be perfect. Like I will be like checking the symmetry of the face, and I know it's so stupid, but that's me. That's
I mean, I
that's
listen.
another thing working better.
It's valid. They make them so customizable because people like to customize them. Just because some of us, I keep loading to these people that don't exist in your mind. Some of us don't really love it. What was the first console you ever played on, Rebecca?
The first console I ever played on was an ENS, I believe, because that was the first one we owned as a family. I think my brother got it. My brother is the one that got me into gaming, so that was the first one I ever played it. And the first game I think I played was Duck Hunt.
Duck Hunt?
Duck Hunt, yeah, like the one with the
Yeah, I
the
think
gun.
I remember playing it maybe once. I might have actually just seen somebody play it. What is the
I loved
first?
it.
What is the first video game you fell in love with then?
Um, Ocarina of Time, Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. That's the love of my life, still.
Deal. I'll play it eventually. I promise. I know. I'm teasing. I'm
I'm
teasing.
waiting for
We're
that
getting there.
moment.
I'm waiting for that
They're
moment.
gonna be back, like vaccinating aloud because I'm gonna be there saving your butt just like I do with ciphers. Yes,
I,
ciphers. I'm
I
with you.
almost feel like, honestly, I feel like Zelda games are really good for backseating and like spoilers and stuff to it, compared to most games, because there's literally at least 4 moments in every Zelda game. I don't care who you are, where you're just like, what the fuck is going on?
What are
I
those
was
moments?
I was playing A Link to the Past the other day, and there's like these chess pieces that you have to throw at an angle, and you have to like land them in the slot. Hardest thing I've done in the entire game. Hardest thing I've done, and I'm literally just throwing them around, just like throw, and they're clinking all over, and I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. Somebody's like, hey, how does that chess piece move? And I go, I hate everything about you and this puzzle. And then even after I was told how it works, I still took another 2 minutes to get it the angle right to get it in the slot. So I feel like it's, I feel like backseating in Zelda is perfect.
sounds sounds like a lot of fun. I have played all the Legend of Zelda games actually.
You've played them all, every
I
single
have
one,
played them all at least once, because I don't owe them. I used to play them.
including all the Game Boy ones.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's actually really cool. Like I love Final Fantasy, and I still haven't gotten to play all of them. I played 1, 2, 3, 4. I was currently on 5 when I stopped, and I started to like stream and stuff. And then 6 has never been touched. I played Tactics. 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 to. Then I played 12 a little bit.
Uh-huh.
13 and 15 I haven't. So it's like there's like the 5 through 6 I didn't touch, and then the ones after 13, 3 and 4 and 5, or however
Yeah.
many 13s there are.
I can't really tell you.
I think there's probably more Zelda games though. Maybe.
Probably. I
Okay,
don't
how many Zelda
know
games
it right
can you name?
now.
Go. How many Zelda games can you name?
Okay. So it is The Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages, Spirit Tracks, um, Wind Waker. I'm not gonna give them in order, by the way.
No,
Um,
no order.
Ah! I totally forgot the name of that one. Okay, back to Majora's Mask. Ocarina of Time. It is Breath of the Wild, Hero Warriors, The Age of Calamity, Skyward Sword. That's the one I forgot. Um, mm, mm, mm. Link Between Worlds, uh, Twilight Princess. How did I forget that one? And that's all I can remember right now.
Minish Cap and Zelda 2 are the only two I know you missed.
Yes, I forgot that
Minish
one.
Cap
And
and
Fourth
Zelda.
Sword,
You
Fourth
named
Sword.
like 15 though. That's honestly impressive. So you really are a big Zelda fan. It is. She is the top Zelda fan on the stream right now. I don't care who you are. She'll fight you for that title.
Oh no, I know someone in the chat that will probably be better at Zelda than me.
What's your favorite game of all time? Then is it Oh my god, Ocarina.
It is.
It is
It is
Ocarina.
the first game that I was. I mean, I have played other games before. Like I have played like in an Atari. Like I have played like other games and everything. But Zelda, the Ocarina of Time was the one I fell in love with because I I used to watch my brother play. So the way I met that game was my brother bought it. So he was playing it, and I will watch him play, and I was falling in love of the story. I was falling in love with the characters, of the design of the characters, of the music. Like that's how you attract me. Like because I'm like I guess that's part of my artistic brain that you like my. I don't know. I look into the layouts and the landscape and everything. And when I finally dared to play, I didn't want it to play because I was scared of like a few of the bosses, and I was like, I'm just gonna do it. Like and like once I defeated the first boss on Ocarina of Time, I felt like I was like, woohoo, like I can do this, and like I was just exploring it by myself without waiting for my brother to do it. So I don't know, like I felt accomplished to finish every single little. And back then, like in like good 1998, 99, like we had to wait for Saturdays. There was a program in Open TV called Nintendo Club, something like that, with a guy that will say like, "Hey, so if you're playing Zelda, so I'm gonna give you the guide from the Lost Woods right now. So we'll be with our notepad, like writing down all those like tips because we will be like already like tired of trying to get it out of there by ourselves and everything. So I don't know, like like finishing that game on my own when I was like 9, 10, like that was like probably like the biggest accomplishment I felt that far. So that's why I fell in love with Zelda.
Pretty cool, actually. Honestly,
Yeah.
what games are you hooked on right now? Is there anything new that kind of has you wrapped up? Not as much as Zelda. Clearly, nothing could meet that. But
Uh, I mean, not really. I'm not really a gamer
yeah,
per
you're
se,
not a
but
big gamer. I
like
know that.
I like so like the thing about this, like I like seeing people playing. Like that's how I guess I dare to play at some point. Like I really enjoy seeing you playing like Hollow Knight, like at Hollow Knight.
I
Like
think
I
that makes
see,
you the perfect Twitch viewer, whatever you want to
yeah.
call it, because you're just like there for it. You're just like, don't worry about spoiling games for me because I'm not gonna fucking play it.
I know nothing.
It's if it's not Zelda, I don't care, and if it is, I played it, so we're good. We're good.
Exactly. Exactly, and I don't know, like I really like the community games. Like I have never played online with other people until a few months. When I had the chance to play Among Us with other people, I'm not like a huge fan of Among Us, but then I played the Jack in the Box game
Yeah.
um, with AGG and like her, like most part of the people on her Discord, and like then I play with you. And that's kind of like the games I really like trivia games. I really like Pictionary kind of games. There's actually a game that I'm being wanting to play, but I need more people that is willing to play with me because it's kind of like Pictionary online. It's kind of like Jack in the Box, but mostly drawing. So
Is it
if you
what's the
are up for
dub?
it,
Is it
I
what's the
think it's
dub?
called, huh?
What is it called? What's the dub? Or is it
I
something
think
different?
it's called phone, something like phone, the telephone or something like that.
Telephone. I know a game called What's the Dub that I saw somebody playing that is similar-ish to Jackbox. I'm sure we can play it one day. You know, Gardic Phone. Is it Gardic Phone?
Cardiff, yeah, yeah, that one.
You know I don't know what it is because you said drawing, and I have a confession to make, Rebecca. I know we're not,
Yeah.
getting into that stuff now. I have zero creative bones in my body. I'm not musically inclined. I am bad at all forms of art. I'm honestly amazed that I can even put together even one idea that anybody would enjoy for a stream because I'm just that unimaginative as a
I'm gonna tell
general.
you something that I learned from Bob Ross. He's one of my idols. Everyone, so to be a human, it's to be a creative person. You are a creative person by being a streamer. Like anyone that has been able to pull up a stream is a creative person because you have to look up for the design of your overlays, for your logo, for your emotes. So it kind of has a little bit of that. So if you are really willing to do any kind of art, it doesn't have to be drawing. It doesn't have to be like, I don't know, like sculpting or painting or writing. Like it can be any kind of art. Like even like if you do a puzzle, that's kind of like art. Because you're making your not sorry, your right side of your brain work. So you are capable of being creative. You're a creative person, but you have to practice it to get better. It's like riding a bike. If you don't practice it, you're just gonna fall over and over, but if you practice it, you get better. The same with streaming. Like how many times like did you at the beginning have no idea what you were doing, and now
All of
you
them, all of the
master it
times.
faster.
All of the
Even if
times
it's
I had no idea. It like I still sometimes today like today for instance I'm trying to I'm like, hey guys, just 5 minutes, and then I start the stream, and then because I was not in my zone, that I'm usually what happens is I get on with guests like 5 minutes before the podcast, and then I'll chat with you throughout the whole starting screen, right? And then by the time the starting screen's over, I'm like in this zone and I'm ready for it. Today, if nobody could tell, I'm sure I was not fucking there.
yeah, once you're in the zone, like for me to get in the zone, um, I can be lost for. That's what I love from drawing. Like when I get in the zone, I can be drawing something very simple, but I could spend hours in it, and then by the time I realize I've been already 5 hours drawing. So I really love getting in the zone. It just feels like the whole world disappears around me, and it's just me and my drawing and my thoughts. It's I don't know. It's just amazing.
So I intentionally kind of skipped over a couple things in the like IRL and didn't do the transition because I know you're not a huge gamer. So things like multiplayer
I did
games
my
and
best
stuff like
with gaming.
stuff like multiplayer games. I knew you were gonna say Zelda, but I wanted you to say that because I'm a masochist and I wanted to hear somebody who loves Zelda as much as I sometimes don't love it.
I have a flip flop cell.
Yeah, flip flop. But how did COVID personally impact your life? What were the effects of the pandemic as far as your life's concerned?
The, it I think I was very lucky that I started a job in January before pandemic was declared. So thankfully, I've been able to keep my job from home this entire time. But it did affect me a lot because I stopped seeing a lot of my family. Like I mentioned, I have a big family, and like I haven't seen a lot of my aunts or like my cousins in a long time. I just saw my grandma a few days ago after I haven't seen her for months. So I am a family person. So for me, not being able to see them, it's awful. And then another thing that affected me was that I am a traveler. I am a travel junkie. Um, and I did not travel for an entire year, and I was going nuts. Like I was losing my mind because I like to travel at least once or twice a year. And for me, not being able to get out of my house or not being able to get out of my country was just like I'm gonna lose my freaking mind. So um, it did affect me in that way. I'm very like I am a social person, but I'm also loving my own space. So I'm not a party person. I don't go to parties. I don't really go out that much. Like if I go meet people, it's like in the house, maybe have like a few drinks, going to the movies. So for me, like that thing was not important. Like I was not into like big parties or anything. For me, the better. But I do miss like hugs a lot. Like I'm a big hugger. So not being able to hug my nephews or niece for a while, it will kill me. Um, or even my parents. So it's something that it affects you. Like I remember the first time I hugged someone after I think the first time I hugged someone from after like maybe 6 months, I nearly cried from how good it felt to hug someone that was human because I will hug my pillows or something like to feel a hug. It's like I need a hug. Um, so like that, I don't know, like that sense of human feeling of human interaction. It's what I miss the most, and like yeah, seeing like the people I really love.
I mean, it's good that your job wasn't affected, but like definitely there's a more human part of that that's still even right now impacted about it. With about wow, the pandemic is still impacting. You know, lives are lost, hugs are missed.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, for your job,
Yeah.
weird transition. I know because you mentioned at the start. Do you do anything creative for that? You said you're oh man, marketing. You do marketing stuff for your. Oh my god, I'm trying to allude to
What can I
something
say?
and
Let's
get
see if you
somewhere.
remember.
I'm just you know.
It's okay, Zil. Uh, I do I do creative stuff for my job. I'm a marketing assistant. So I manage a lot of social media for a firm. So I create a lot of like the posts that they put online. I edit videos. I create content, and basically like my other job, like I'm a like that's my my we call it like an adult job. But my other job is like illustrator. So I work with commissions. Like it is definitely 100% creative because it's like the illustrations for the books. Um, I've been very blessed to get some commissions from streamers like you that have asked me to. I love the challenges that you're. Hey, you're up for a creative, like to create a god, and like let's do it. Like character design is my thing. Um, so that's definitely very creative on my. There we go. There's there's the god. Yeah, I love it. Um, but yeah, definitely a lot of creativity in my job.
And do you have any hobbies outside of Twitch?
I do. I like reading. I like watching movies. I love drawing, painting, scrapbooking. Um, I like hiking when I was able to go out hiking. Um, what else I like? I love traveling, like I said.
I think you're
And
supposed to just say video games and that's it, because that's the answer I get every time. You're not allowed to have such an elaborate answer, Rebecca.
gosh, it's not elaborate answer.
It sounds like a
Uh,
lot of your hobbies also involve
I like
uh,
to keep myself busy. Video
your
games are one of them.
appreciation of art, like the scrapbooking and stuff like that, and then the editing. It's kind of interesting that you're in some ways a content creator on Twitch, and then you do commissions and stuff, but you're also a content creator for your job, which is super interesting.
I do.
Um, what
Yeah, I
is it
like video
about?
games too.
What is it about art or drawing that captivates you? Is that just something that you found when you were younger, so you continued it, or
um, I mean, I know I've been drawing, and since I can't, since I can recall, since I was very young, there's pictures of me from like when I was in kindergarten painting. So I don't know what captivated me back then when I was a child, but I know that when I do art, I can be 100% myself, like because it's me. One of my favorite definitions of art is like art is the expression of the world, like it's the recreation of the world through someone's eyes. So that's why there's no correct form of art. Like there's sculpting, there's painting, but like even between painting you have like cubism, you have like impressionism, you have like different kinds of art. You have like cartoons that are on a kind of art, you have animated movies with like computer. So it's a self-expression from what your how you see the world, or how you want the world to be like in your through your eyes, through your mind. And I guess what captivated me was that I guess I started going more into art because I was going through very rough times when I was younger. I was being bullied a lot, so I will be like that kid that will go to the corner of the playground and draw, just to stay away from other people's way. And um, I don't know, like I said, like I start drawing and everything around me just is just gone. It disappears, and it's just me and my drawing. It's just me and my art. I can be myself. I can express what I feel, what I want, and how I want things to be like. So I think that's something I love from art, that it just lets you be yourself in any possible way. Like streaming is an art. Sculpting, cooking, fixing things. Anything can be an
scrapbooking,
art. Cooking is
scrapbooking,
actually
video
art.
editing?
Video editing, like, yeah, I think everything can be an art because it's a way how you express things you like through anyways, like your taste for food through cooking.
What is your main expression of art that you do?
I will say watercolors. um that was the one I fell in love with most. Right now in my streams, I do digital art because I got a tablet and I want to get better at that. Um, but I will 100% always choose watercolors. I love them. They're just perfect for me. They're
I
very, like they're very temperamental. Like if you add too much water, it's screw up, but then you can fix it somehow else or add other things and stuff. But like you have to be patient, and patient is not, patient is not my middle name. Patience is not my middle name.
your middle name isn't Patience. Are you
No,
sure?
my
It
middle name is
seems like a really cool middle name. I
Rebecca
don't know.
Patience Ross.
Rebecca Patience Straw. See, you get it. You get it. I like it. I like it. Perfect. See.
Put
Um,
that in
I think
com.
what's interesting about drawing, you kind of hit on it. With what you were saying is there's so many different forms. Like you can draw with pencils, obviously crayons, colored pencils, and stuff like that. You can paint, water paint colors is what you said. And then there's also digital art and things coming out now, and there's so many different kinds of digital art. That's wicked cool.
It is like I can see so many things now with digital art that I started doing digital art back in 2010, I think, when I got my first tablet. And I had no idea the things that people could accomplish. Like you can draw things that look like you took a picture from something in a very realistic way. So I am achieving to try to do, not to be like that, but to be as good as I can in art in my own way, because I'm not trying to be someone else. I'm trying to be me, but to achieve a level of I don't know, like skill to express it the way I really want.
And you are what a ninjacado, right?
You go. Woo.
Are you the ninjacado?
I am.
How did the
I
ninjacado come
am for
about?
sure.
How
Sorry.
did the avocado ninja become formed? I must know.
It was the most random thing. So when I became affiliated last year in November, um, I was drawing emotes for my channel. It's like, oh, okay, so I'm affiliate now, so I should probably draw some emotes. And like in other streams, we will always joke about like churros and quesadillas and tequila and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do
There's no
my.
joking when it comes to tequila. Sorry to
Oh
cut you
no, no,
off there, but there's no joking when it comes to tequila. Tequila,
for you,
margaritas are
for me,
serious
oh,
business.
like water. Shh, amateurs. um, so I started just drawing food emotes, and like what then I asked like to my chat, so what else? Oh, I should probably draw an avocado. Why not? Because I like avocados. I like to eat avocados, and I just drew an avocado that was just with like the hands saying like woohoo, like a little woohoo avocado. But I thought it was cute. But then that will be the only emote I will use mostly on streams, like when I will come to your stream or someone else's streams, and I will just spam the chat with avocados.
I
Um,
remember. I remember very well. I remember you coming in everywhere, and then you spam the avocados, and then I eventually got your emote. So every time I saw you, I would literally just be the avocado spammer myself too.
it was a perfect
Say,
marketing
so
because
you were
like
saying
everybody
hi. So who
wanted that
says
avocado,
hi? Who says hi when you can spam avocados, right? Right?
right?
So overrated to be like, hello, Rebecca, when you can just be like, avocados in chat, yo. Speaking of which, avocados in chat.
There you go. There's my avocado fam right
and
there.
now, and then you became the avocado ninja, which eventually
You
transformed into
you
Ninjacado.
named me the avocado ninja. So
I
well,
don't remember. No, I
I
didn't
call
do the
myself
avocado ninja. Somebody else did that. I did
I
ninja.
call myself the
Yeah,
avocado
there
ninja
you go.
because
It's
they were like you're spamming, and then you turn it into ninjacado.
Ninjacado. Ninjacado.
Yeah.
So
So that's how it born, the ninjacado. Now apparently everything or all my life turns around avocados because like my mom gave me this little plushie of avocado for my stream. She's like, hey, it can be like your mascot, and like she started giving me stuff with avocados for my stream.
It's so cute. So cute.
So yeah, like my life is surrounded by avocados that I don't really mind.
In the
They're
best of ways. Surrounded by avocados in the best of ways. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, and of course, I used the Ninjacado as your thing today instead of your OG RebecaDraws one, just because we have to. We have to.
yeah, exactly.
So moving on to streaming. Decent transition because we were just talking about art, and you're actually an art streamer. So,
Am
how
I?
long have you been
Oh yeah.
streaming? Yeah, you are an art streamer. You are, I
Oh,
promise.
okay. Well, good to know. I've been streaming since my first stream was on October 28th from last year. So I've been streaming for about 6 months.
And I'm gonna have to ask you, why did you choose your name, Rebecca?
Because
Rebecca
it was
Draws.
easier to foreign people to pronounce. So the story with my name, actually, I had another name. That is spelled Rebk art, because in Spanish it makes more sense like to use those letters to say
Yeah.
Rebecca, um, and art. So it was like Rebecca art. But it will make more sense in Spanish than English. So for me, I actually began streaming on Instagram. This is a fun fact. I started streaming on Instagram last year around this time, and I had okay, like it was okay, it was fun, and then like I got people telling me about these platforms, so that's why I gave it like a try. But yeah, like I feel like it was very hard for some people to even like pronounce the name or anything, because that was my Twitch name before, and I will go to chats and people will like welcome
Rebecca
our
Art.
art,
Rebecca
yeah,
Art.
like our key art or like stuff like. And I was like, okay, this is gonna be a pain in the butt if I stream. And I was following. I need to be very honest. I was following a streamer called Casey Arts, Casey Draws. Sorry. Um, and I was like, oh, that's an easy name. Like you can follow it. It's easy. So and I tried RebecaDraws and I love it, because especially because my initials are RD. Like my real name is RD, so I can keep my RD initials for
Perfect.
RebecaDraws. So it's perfect. So I love it, and I decided to keep it, and it's been working very well since then.
I think it's really the one thing that's cool is that, I mean, obviously, I don't do any art streams of my own. It's cool that you can stream on Twitch, which is generally thought to be a gaming platform, and you can do your art, and obviously there's music and stuff. And you do your art streams about every Wednesday, I believe. And you
Yeah,
do
that's
different art things that are different, very cool.
thank
I
you.
what are some of the things you've done on that art stream?
My name, my name, no, my name, no, my
Your name?
main. You
Rebecca
know my
Draws.
name.
Yeah, that's your name. We went over this, Rebecca.
Yep, yep. Rephrase. My main kind of drawing, it's fun art. Well, it's funny because I didn't used to like to do fun arts before. Fun art, for the ones that are not familiar with the term, it's to draw something based on a popular character, movie, book, or TV show. It's basically doing something that it already exists, but in your own style. So I didn't used to like that because I was like, no, it feels like I'm copying. But like I didn't. I was going through a rough patch of like creativity back last year. That was probably one of the COVID effects that happened because I mean, long story short, I couldn't really see very well. I had an eye surgery, so I couldn't use my eyes for a very long time the way I wanted. So I started streaming because I wanted to create like an habit of at least drawing once a week. So I draw like I have drawn fan arts, like I've done Zelda, Legends of Zelda fan arts. I have drawn the Ghibli movies, A
Ooh.
Arnold. What else I have drawn? I have drawn. I made Nefael Unaleska suffer by mixing up Mifa from Breath of the Wild with Mario, who he hates. So I have done that. I have mashed up some characters together just to grinch people. um, and
Listen,
I don't know, like I have drawn Avatar, I have drawn like Nightmare Before Christmas, kind of like thing. So a little bit of everything.
all
Things
I
I like.
needed to hear you say was that you. Oh, my fucking brain. Oh my god. You're picking on Neff. That's what I want.
What together,
Dude,
son?
I don't know. I don't know. I know. I don't know. Like, I'm just. I can't right now. It's crazy. I know Pregnant Mifa from the Discord, and that's what stuck. And then my. Oh, man. What is. I'm
Bless you.
sorry, Rebecca.
It's like you're here and like your
She
brain is like,
deserves. She
I'm out of
deserves
here.
better, Zell. She deserves better. Come on, use your brain.
No, don't do this right now.
What got you into streaming, Rebecca?
um, I got invited by a friend and my cousin. They started streaming around this time last year. So I didn't ever hear about, like, I never heard about Twitch in my life. So they were like, "Hey, I'm streaming like on Twitch," and I was like, "What's that?" So I'll be seeing their streams, like, like out of curiosity and support. Um, and then like, and I thought it was 100% a gaming kind of like place. I was like, yeah, like it's fun, but I don't see much future in, like, for me here. But then I found out there were more categories here, and I found the art section, and I saw people streaming, and I was like, real, this is really cool because what I was like I said, I started streaming on Instagram, and you don't interact the same way. Like you just put your camera over your drawing, like people don't see your face. I mean, some people doesn't like that anyway, but like people will just be like texting in chat, and I'll be answering with my voice and stuff like that. But the way you interact with people here on Twitch is, it's amazing, because you create your image, you create your personality here with like your emotes and like your channel points, so people can actually interact in more ways than just texting with you. So I think that's what attracted me the most, that you get to interact with people more. And also, like, I don't know, like there were so many cool art streamers around, like also gamer streamers, but like, I mean, being art my main interest, like seeing all the people streaming art, it was like I can do this. Like I really, and I love sharing um you know my art. I love sharing stories. As you see, like you get me talking and I don't shut up. So streaming is perfect. So
I
I
don't
don't know.
mind in the least. I don't mind. As I was saying earlier, it's just very fun to see the different perspective on it because obviously you're the first art streamer I've had on the podcast.
I feel
I
very
usually
flattered.
wouldn't get a chance to do like a co-stream with an art streamer because you only do art and I only don't fucking do art. You know what I mean? So it's actually very nice to get a different perspective on it and kind of get a different perspective on the inclusion in some ways that we have with art streams and stuff like that. Like I've
Yeah.
met some musicians who stream. They stream music, right? But they also do a lot more games. Whereas you're just like the art streamer, and then you do commissions and stuff, which is
hmm
wicked cool. How many commissions have you done?
Let's see. I have done the gaming god for you. I did Falcon's Freak new sub badges and emotes. I made some few emotes of Chubby, Skirt Chubby, and Gigi Chubby. Um, so I made feed along overlays and logo. Mr. the Moonbear new logo. Um, I have made AGG's a couple emos of her dogs, Loki and Zeus. I have done. I think that's, well. I'm working with someone. I cannot tell much about that project, but my last stream was about that. But I'm working with Push Up Gamer. If anyone here knows him, or
Pushy.
he's
I've never heard of him.
Yeah, okay. So he's a Aussie streamer. Uh, he does a lot of push-ups. So his streams are very fun, but he has been out of Twitch for a while because he's been busy with life and everything. But we are both working in a very good and fun project that once he's back to stream, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Super
That's all I
cool.
can.
I think that kind of cool that you can get commissions and stuff. Obviously, for your emotes and stuff, I've commissioned multiple different artists. Of course, thank you again for the gaming god, the beautiful, the lovely gaming god that you did for us.
Had a lot of
It's
fun with it.
amazing. Um, and also because it's more digital the way you do the art, right? So because you're getting into the digital art space a little bit more, I feel
Yeah.
like you can definitely see your progression, learning how to do it and the different things. Because I don't, I don't 100% know how it works, but like chubby looks very different from a Dorito or anything else that, or even like you change your avocado and now it looks
Yeah.
cuter. Got some arms, and then you got the Ninjacado there, the
Oh yeah,
laughing
I made
Ninjacado, and all these different things. So you can, it's cool to see the improvement over. I want to say like such a little time too.
it is the product from being like drawing at least once a week on like that's the magic of practicing, even if it's just for a little bit. You see a lot, and I think that progress on my drawings from like when I started streaming to now, to when I started doing digital art about 10 years ago, 11 years ago. Ooh. So like I was doing different, like I will share in your Discord some of my old digital drawings that they were not bad, but like once you see what I've been able to achieve now, like the work I'm booking right now, I've been able to do so much better with animals. And like I'm just very proud of myself, and it is amazing, and that's why I love when people commissions me to do things, because some things are like out of my, like the gaming god was out of my comfort zone for sure. Like I am not really good drawing people, especially men. Ladies, men are hard even in drawing. They're difficult to draw, but it was very fun to achieve that challenge and just to make it, the thing that you wanted, and like something I'm very happy about.
And have you found the digital art to be different than traditional art? Like, has it been
Say
more
it
of a
again?
challenge? Have you found digital art to be very different or very similar to traditional art?
Oh no, it's way different. In some ways it's better because you have the beautiful fast keys when you can just control Z and erase stuff, and nothing happen.
Yeah, that's a big
While
eraser that would have to handle some of that
yeah, while
erasing.
in traditional art is like, oh, you put too much water, well, sucks for you. um so it is better in some ways, but it also very challenging for me to work with digital when you can't touch the material. So I have a very serious love for both of them. Um, but yeah, like they're very challenging, and like there's so many programs now where in the beginning there used to be just Photoshop, and Photoshop wasn't meant for that much illustration back then. It was more for like photo editing, and now they have so many um, tools for illustration. They have like a Illustrator itself. There's a lot of programs. I want to really get into animation, like 2D animation at some point, and I know with like digital drawing I will be able to achieve it.
I think it's kind of like, so you said you started on Instagram, and I didn't even know you could stream on Instagram, by the way.
Yeah.
But now you're in Twitch. Sounds like you like Twitch a little bit more because of the different
There's
interactions you can do,
no going back to
the
Instagram now.
emotes and stuff. Would you say that as a whole you enjoy streaming?
I do enjoy streaming a lot. I had a rough time at the beginning of this year when I thought um it was not for me, because I had to. rethink my reasons for streaming. So I don't know, like I didn't know if I was enjoying it or not, but after not being able to stream for a month, I was like, I actually miss it. Like, because it's not just the streaming, it's the friends I have done through Twitch that are, most of them are here in the chat, and I really love you guys for being here. Um, but you know, it's the community, it's the streaming, it's the chance to sharing what you love doing with others, and you know, getting the chance them to for them to know you better and you to know them better. So it is what streaming on Twitch.
And you mentioned you took a month off. Why'd you have to take a month off streaming? What happened there?
It was mostly like I went through a rough patch at the end of last year. Some emotional issues with someone, but it didn't really affect me that much because I went back to streaming. So I needed that time off. Um, you know, I think it was the Christmas blues going on, and I just needed like some time off to
Yeah,
to vent or to, I don't know, to
just
relax.
relax to get in the right mindset.
I was getting very overwhelmed at some point by my job. I now am an assistant, but I got promoted to coordinator of the area of marketing, and it was, I don't know, like a lot of work for me. And at some point, I thought like streaming felt like I was carrying too much on my shoulders, and I was doing too much, and I was not really enjoying it like the last few times. Um, so like I felt like I was doing just so many things, and like I had so much work to do that I was just like rushing myself. Like it felt like I had to stream because I had to. And streaming doesn't have to be a thing that, I mean, for me, I know some people wants to turn it into a career. For me, it's the chance to hang out with friends, the chance to share what I love doing. Um, and it felt like I had to do it because, you know, I had to, you know, like, and I didn't want something that I love so much, that is doing art, to feel like a job that someone was forcing me to do.
Yeah.
So I had to take a month away to, you know, to rethink if it was really what I wanted to do. And it worked because it meant to me, you know, a lot of things. So I was back, and that first stream back was probably the first stream I ever had.
I definitely understand it can be difficult um to generate headspace sometimes, and a lot of people that I know who've taken breaks have found it helpful. I think your did you do I feel like used to do not only art streams, did you ever stream anything else? Or was it just art and I'm just really
No, it was just art. Um,
just art?
yeah, I had never achieved to stream anything else. Sometimes, like at some point, I thought I wanted to do like a podcast, but now it's like, no, I just want to do art. Like at some point, I want to do like videos for YouTube, like with art tips or things like that. So that's probably the most I will do.
But that'd be cool. And then you could also use the editing expertise that you've learned. Like for me, I don't know how to edit anything, so it's like one of my podcasts went awry and it got split into two, and it's still not up because I just need to figure out how to put it into one. And I'm gonna,
Oops.
yeah, it like the
Techno-
my power went out quickly. There was like a power flash in the middle of my fourth or fifth podcast that we did here, and it just, I mean, the VOD got cut into two, and Sal doesn't know what he's doing, so he's waiting until he has the time to learn how to do that stuff to get it up so everybody can see it. You're answering all my questions here. You know, you said you want to stream just for fun, so
yeah.
you don't see it as your job right now. But what is the biggest you see yourself getting on Twitch?
Um, I don't really have any like big aspirations for Twitch. Like I'm really doing it just because I love sharing my art. So if I ever get um like like, I don't know, even more followers, I might, you know, at some point think about creating a Discord for, you know, keeping up with the art, um, sharing, to create like a community of people that just wants to share
You
creative
just want
stuff.
to art.
I just want art. Yeah, that's all I want to do. I just want art. That's all. Like I do have like aspirations of like of art of my own that at some point I would like to create a web comic. I have a lot of projects. That's one thing. Like I'm sketching a web comic that I want to release at some point. I am working in a few books for children, for adults. Um, I would like to get out like some merchandise with my art, with like some like stickers or like whatever, like I don't know, pins or mugs or t-shirts or something like at some point I would like to share my art in that way because I know when people likes I really like when people likes what I do and they are like I really could use like a shirt with that painting that you just did. So I don't know, like for me that's the best you can do for like an artist. Just like I have a book um that I released a couple of years ago. So like that's what I'm gonna keep doing. I want to just keep
It's
arting.
like you have a lot of projects going on. You're like,
Gosh.
I got a
Yeah,
comic book, I got my job, do my art streams. Very, very busy person, aren't you, Rebecca?
I have a notebook this big, full of with notes of all the things I want to do of art projects. I'm just like,
Sounds
I
like
will
you're
get
ahead of me as far as that goes because what I do is I forget to write things down, and then I'll be trying to think of I'll be like, oh, this is a great idea, and then later I'll be like, wait, fuck,
there.
I know there was an idea, and then I'll either I'll miss like that epic wording on something that I wanted to do, or I'll miss like some concept part of it that I had thrown in, and you know, I'll know it's missing. I'll know that it's missing, but I'll
You
just
know
be
it's there,
like,
but
ah.
I don't know where.
What do you think the best part of streaming is?
Um, I believe it's there's a lot of good things. One of the best I think it's the friends you make through through this platform because if you're watching a stream of someone that you like, there's probably more people in that chat that it's watching it because of the same reason. So you get to know a lot of people with the same interest and those people I have became friend with really good people from Twitch, and so like that's probably one of my favorite things from it. The confidence it has gave me to be in front of a camera because I know there's artists or gamers or streamers that don't like to show their face, and that's totally respectable. But like for me, going out there and show who am I and what I do and why I love it, for me, that confidence is golden because I grew up without confidence for a long time. And for me, having this confidence is like I'm invincible, like I can do everything.
I think that streaming can definitely help the confidence. I'm glad it's helped with your confidence. What is the worst part about streaming for you?
Technology.
Okay, that's a fair answer though. There's a lot, like in order just to get a stream going, and you don't have to really learn it all. You can pick your poison whether you try to learn the ropes, and then something goes wrong and you can't fix it. But like you got to get it set up. Um,
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a butt. Like today, Ninja didn't want to work because it source being used by something else or something. And I've had the same issues in the past. Or I remember like how many different times have you been on a stream, whether it's yours or anybody else, and like some audio aspect isn't working, whether it's like the capture card is doing a static noise, or you can't hear the Discord, or whatever. There's just so many little things, and you have to learn stuff just to get on.
I
Start
mean,
doing that.
even my stream, my chat says like when I'm streaming, like it's not a Rebecca stream if something doesn't go wrong.
True.
So, like
Very true.
either the commands are not working or like my frames start dropping. Um, like at the beginning, I didn't know how to set the overlays. It's funny because it works the same as an editing program, so I got the hang out of it kind of quick. But this at the same time, like dealing with my bad internet, like I have a slightly better internet right now. So like for me, getting to know all this digital world was like, and I'm streaming on a laptop, so um, it is kind of like someone calls it over there, somewhere around there, crap top. It's pretty accurate. So it gets worn pretty easy, and but it's a fighter, so get around there. Um, but yeah, like that's probably my issue with Twitch, like because I have not had any bad experiences with like trolls or people being mean at me. So I mean, I guess I'm very lucky for that. But yeah, like I have not had like terrible experiences
Well,
with
that's
just with
good. I
technology.
mean, that's just shows that not everybody has to be a shit person. And you also mentioned that community aspect when you said what you like. So you generally go to streams where not only you like the streamer, but as you said, there will be people, the
Yep.
community in the stream. So even further than just knowing the streamer, it's kind of nice sometimes. I know this person in chat. That's wicked cool, and then you're more comfortable there. So long as nobody's a dick, we
Exactly.
can all enjoy streams. Um, Time for the audience questions. So if anybody has
Ooh,
any more audience questions, definitely get them in.
I am ready for you guys.
We have
Bring
a
it
couple
on.
of good ones. I think I should hit you with the classic. Where do babies come from? Captain Jesse always asks it. So where do babies come from?
They come from Netflix and chill.
Netflix and that's a popular answer here. All right, so Skizzle the Wicked would like to know, how does one become a master of the flip flop?
Oh, John Grasshopper. That is a great question. Um, to become a master of the flip flop, first you have to think like the flip flop, but you have to work your way through the flip flop. Nice game. It's the ancient Latin American martial art of hitting someone for discipline. But to become the master of the flip flop, you have to think like the flip flop. You have to learn from whoever holds the power. Respect, and you'll get there eventually.
Learn the way of the flip flop warrior. On a
Yeah.
scale of 1 to flip flop, how scared are you of Skizzle the Wicked? You just spit
Minus
something out.
two.
-2. We are not at all scared of Skizazzle the Wickazzle here, are we?
Minus two, Skizzle. You are more scared of me than I am scared of you. You know it, dude. You know it.
Oh my. What is your favorite piece of art you've made? Rebecca S.
Rebecca, is that?
I meant
Did I ask that?
Brianna would like to know, Rebecca, what your favorite piece of art is. I'm doing great today, guys. I'm doing great. I'm fucking 100 on 100.
You're nail itself. You're doing great.
Fucking amazing.
My favorite piece of art I've done? That's a hard question. It's like choosing from one of my children, who I don't have. But I mean, there's digital and there's traditional. Um, oh, that's a hard question. Yes, I do have it here. I think. Let me show you. I can show you real quick. If I can find it. I think this is one of my favorites. The octopus with it's like the dot art. It's basically dots put together and watercolors and ink. Probably one of my favorites. I don't know if you guys can see it.
It is wicked cool. The Octopusso.
El octopuso.
I
I
thought
have
you
a lot
were
of.
I thought you were gonna say the gaming god, but I understand if it's this beautiful octopus.
It's hard to choose one. I mean, I have a lot. I can show you more.
No, you.
I mean, I have just a, a shit ton of art right now. I can't even choose which one. Yeah, I find the one. I mean, I have this one. toucan.
Beautiful.
I like with watercolor, so it's kind of like my style. Like Mexican Day of the Dead painting. So these are all like watercolor ones, who I'm very proud of. That's about it. I think that's about it. Otherwise, I'll spend all just showing you paintings like a kid. Like, look, I draw this. I draw this too.
They are very, very good drawings. Very
Hold
good
on.
art.
The most piece of art I'm probably proud of is this one, my book. I should
Peanut
probably
butter
have said that
jelly
first.
monster. You're like it's. You
Yeah,
turn back to put it down. And you're like, wait a minute. I got
yeah. I was
something
like, oh,
for just this occasion.
oh, that's right. I have a book. So I'm gonna cover my face for a second, but this is probably the one of the proudest things I ever done with my art because it took me since I was a nanny in 2012 till 2009 when I finally released it. Um, so it took me forever, but it's finally out, and I'm very happy how it came out and like the meaning it has. So that's probably one of the most proudest pieces of art I have. If
What is
that's a
your
sentence.
favorite? What is your favorite dish to make with avocados?
My favorite thing to do with avocados?
Yep. Brianna would like to know.
Uh, Simple. Like it's very simple. It's you have a handmade tortilla, warm tortilla. Put some avocado slices in there, a pinch of salt, a little bit of lime, and mwah, delicious. That's simple and delicious. One of the best things.
Because of the Wicked would like to know where. What is your favorite place that you have traveled to?
Oh, that's a hard one. Phew. I travel a lot. um, I I don't know. I'm between Austria and Canada. Like the part I met from Canada. Those are probably some of the places I like the most. I went to solo trip to Europe back in 2016. I went a month by myself, back kind of like backpacking to visit friends that I met when I was a nanny. Um, I was a nanny in the US, so like I met a lot of people from other countries. And I went to visit my friends I went to 6 different countries on my own. I had never traveled on a train. So I pretty much travel Europe by train. And I don't know, like if I had to choose a place, I will choose a trip, and I will be that one, the Europe trip. But like a place will probably be Austria, the one I like the most.
That
No, I didn't
sounds
see Thailand.
amazing. Sounds amazing. I like. I'm over here just like I can't even like imagine because I've traveled to Florida and back, and I haven't even gone like west of where I live. So the travel to so many places sounds amazing. Speaking
And
of,
it's funny
yeah,
because
hmm?
Malcolm says that like I didn't say Thailand, and I like Kiss that didn't say Seattle. Seattle for me is my second home because I lived there for 2 years. So it's not
It's
like
not
a place that I
traveling.
just
It's not
visit.
even. You're
Yeah.
not even traveling. You're just going back
For,
home.
for me, it's I love Seattle so much. It's tattooed in my arm, like it's in my forehand, and so it's part. And Thailand was just too hot for me, but I liked it.
Brianna would like to know a place that you would like to travel to that you
I
have
would
not yet.
love I would love to go to Iceland or Japan. Those are like my
Very,
two
very similar places. Everybody, very similar.
very.
Iceland or Japan. Just very similar.
I mean,
Uh,
either of those are like my top favorite place I would like to visit.
all right. So you'll move on to the rest of the stream questions. I don't. This one is interesting, okay? Because I don't know if it's actually what you're gonna say here, especially as an art streamer. I mean, maybe I do. What
That
is
is
the
fair.
biggest Twitch controversy that impacted you or caught your attention?
Um, I saw one over Twitter that caught my attention. Um, about forgot the name of the streamer, but it was like I think a couple guys that were streaming and they were rating a girl and they were um like motivating their chat. Like they had like around 300 people like in chat at that moment, and they were like, "Hey, we're just gonna rate people to to mess them up. Like we're not gonna be nice. Like everybody just like say terrible things about that person." And like I read about it and I like read a lot of comments and then I heard from other streamers that sometimes that's very common. Like when people's like, "Hey, I'm just gonna rate this channel." So and once they got to this girl's channel, they start telling her like that she was ugly, that she was uh like I don't know, like her stream sucks, things like that. So um it is that kind of like the controversy that caught my attention, that people just is I don't know, like
It's
why are
just
you think
disgusting. Like, why would you do that? That's
like what is in your head going on for you to think it's okay to just rate someone that I think this
just
girl
be an
didn't even
asset for no reason.
have like that many followers. So like I know streamers that are like, I'm just gonna rate you so you get more viewers and maybe you get affiliated and stuff like that. This guy was like, oh, she has no people. She has like 5 people on her stream. Let's go and fuck her stream by saying
Let's go
mean
harass
things
her
to
for absolutely no reason and make her hate Twitch because I'm an asshole. I feel like people like that should definitely just like those are
yeah.
some of the things that like just should be instant banned. You do something like that and it's like, yeah, no, because
I hate bullying in all its shapes.
yeah, and that's just ridiculous. Like, why would you use like why grow any sort of a following on Twitch or any platform for all that matters to then use it to harass other people as opposed to, like that's just I didn't even hear about that. That's awful.
Yeah, I read about it on Twitter. Like I think it's awful that people doing that. And I think that these guys just got banned for like a month. Like their channel got suspended for a month and then they're back streaming. And I was like, no, people like that should be uh like totally banned from Twitch and not being able to stream ever again.
Yeah,
They
that's
don't deserve.
absolutely just asinine, to be honest with you. What is your
It.
opinion on ads on Twitch?
They suck.
Fuck.
um, I mean, but I guess they have to make money somehow. So if that, I mean, we watch ads on YouTube. We watch ads
Ads on
on
everything else except for Twitch.
like even like it like streaming services slowly went sorry they so slowly turned into cable TV, because what we hated about cable TV was that there was a lot of TV commercials and like you were watching a movie and then they will be cutting it out because they will be like putting a commercial of whatever. And that's why people started turning into YouTube, because oh, there's no commercials, let's watch this, there's no ads. And now they're like, well, guess what, we have ads.
I
So
think that
it's just part of the
I,
business.
I think if done properly, there could be a place for ads on Twitch, obviously for a couple different reasons, but I know most people generally just don't like them. And by done properly, I mean like I as the streamer have control over when I do ads. Like so, like if I just chose to do an ad and it turned off ads for like a hour or whatever when people came in, right? And then I
Yeah.
just stopped my stream for a minute and chatted with everybody in chat, maybe. But I in most situations I do understand. Like it always sucks to come into a stream for the first time and or just coming to stream in general if you don't have a sub and then be hit with
Yeah.
30 seconds of I can't talk to the person I just came to say hi to.
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't care much about the ads. Like, I don't mind. Like, I'm used to be poor and not being able to subscribe to everything, so I just wait. Um, but yeah, I mean, sometimes they're annoying.
What are you currently trying to improve on your stream?
I'm trying to improve the the fact that they don't drop first of all. So that's important. Um, but I think I'm trying to improve a little more of um like the things that I draw that are more varied. Um, so to fit like different interests. Um, like things like maybe not just fan arts, maybe just like doing something more original, like character designing, things like that. So I guess I would like to improve the way I interact with my chat, um, by doing more things that they can put into my stream. Like I have a book that it's called 600 something things to draw, and I want to put that on like in my channel, so like they can pick any random number and I will draw that thing. um like after a certain amount of points, I will draw you on the spot, things like that. I don't know. Like I want my chat to be part of my stream, because they're not just my chat, they're not just my followers, they're my friends. They're people that want to share the most precious thing I have after my family, that it's my art. So it is it is for me important for them to feel part of.
Feel part of your stream, to feel included. I think that's a really good thing to aspire to, is to make sure everybody feels included. Like the situation you were just telling, but that person being an asshole, like that's literally the opposite of what I see as good on Twitch. Like you want everybody to come in, you want them to be happy to be there, not just
Yeah,
for what you're doing, but just like not always be the highlight of their day, maybe, but like you want them to feel included in the community and the conversations, and you don't want to do things to make them feel. Is why would you
exactly.
like? We're not going to streams to feel bad, obviously. We want to feel good. We want to feel a part of the crew.
Exactly.
If you could go back to when you started streaming and give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
um I think you'll be, don't stress too much about what you do or who you do it for. Like do it for yourself and have fun. Like at the end of the day, I'm doing something that I love. um if you are in my stream, is because you enjoy the same things that I do. If you don't like them, you can go. Like it is not mandatory for you to stay on my stream if you don't like what I'm drawing or what I'm talking about. So stop stressing about pleasing people with what they want to watch, and just do what I love doing, because it's what I love doing, not what they love me doing. You know? I don't know if it makes any sense, but it's just enjoy it and have fun and do it for you. And like as I said, like I don't have any big aspirations of becoming famous or having my face in a big screen, unless it's Skizzles TV because he does that.
Unless
um,
it's Skizzles TV because he puts me on the
puts my
big
stream
screen.
on my puts
The
my
biggest
stream on.
screen I want to be on is a large 72-inch TV screen in somebody's living room
While they ate dinner.
while they eat dinner. What is coming up in your streams that we should be excited about, Rebecca?
um, you should be excited because I'm excited. So next Wednesday, I stream on Wednesdays. Wednesday is my birthday. I'll be turning 33. Woohoo! So I'll be throwing a very special birthday stream. And the theme for that stream will be same fun art, but I'll be fun arting streamers. So the way we work with the I'll be having the names of, like, my streamer friends, like you, like Nev, Falk, Keys, Cyphers, people like, and everyone. And I will be just drawing them randomly from, in a jar, and I'll be drawing a fan art of whatever streamer comes out.
Wicked
Just
cool.
for fun. Yeah.
Sounds like
So
that sounds
and
like it will
like
be
maybe
an
for like
awesome
people
time.
like Cyphers doesn't show his face on his streams. So it will be like a challenge for me. Like sometimes I will be
I like
making
it. Oh, I like
the
this art. Oh, I like
the
this so
dough.
much more. I just like it so much
Like
more because you're like, okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start
how
drawing.
can I
I'm gonna
picture
start
you?
drawing ciphers. Just what I imagine as ciphers when I'm drawing ciphers. I like it. I like it. Um
Yeah, like just by imagining the sound of his voice or like the way or by the games people streams, like who knows, like I might draw you as a character of one of the
you're
games that
just
you
gonna
stream. I don't
it's just gonna make me feel sad that I'm gonna have to be sleeping during this because
know. Sorry that I stream so.
no, it's okay. I listen. It's I kind of feel like and I feel like there's no way for me to not like feel like an asset because like my streams were traditionally late, but because of how everything in life turned out and worked out, it's
Yeah, it
like
was hap-
the opposite where now it's like I have to stream early and then afternoons and then like whereas I used to hang out on streams at night, like if I were to ever hang out on a stream at night, I'd hang out on stream. Now it's like, okay, great. Well, I have a little bit of time during the day when absolutely nobody fucking streams to hang out with everybody. And then while everybody I know streams, which is, the same time as I used to stream, I can't do that because I'm sleeping at 10:30, 11 o'clock. Like right now, it's almost past my bedtime. Right now, 10:09. Should have
welcome to
probably been in. What?
welcome to adulting.
Yeah, I know. It's my wife got a job. Hopefully, she enjoys it and has a good time with it, and I can
That's awesome.
just support her and take care of stuff in the house and not be a dipshit and make dinner that she enjoys and things like that. But it also involves going to sleep earlier and missing all of the streams that are anywhere. Like, it's like literally if I'm on a stream after 10 o'clock, either some miracle happened or I'm telling you in 2 minutes that I'm about to lurk and go to bed because that's exactly what I've been doing.
But like what I really admire of you is like that you actually like stay lurking the entire stream. So we know like you can't stay, but like you're there like with your support, like your silent support. So I
Yeah,
think it's
I
always
try. I really try to get streams up, and since I'm home, I'm trying to do two at once. As I said, it's like unfortunate that most people stream earlier, don't stream earlier. So like, there's not two streams for me to put up at noon. Like I might have one person on, and then 9 or 10 hits, and I'm just like, I'm like, I'm literally gonna make a schedule. I'm gonna go 2 weeks. I'm gonna write down when everybody streams. It's like RebecaDraws Wednesday. She's one of the people we gotta be in, and then be like, okay, well, I can't be on Zeph's stream every night because it's every night at 9. So I'm gonna have to, pencil people in here and there to try to get like I don't want to say even because I hate when it comes to anything streaming related. I don't like the word fair because what's fair? Like what would you consider? What one person considers fair, another person wouldn't, etc. Like I won't say fair way, but hopefully acceptable way. I'll schedule everybody, and people who don't have a schedule will be like, Zell just hates me, and it'll be like, no, it's not that. It's just you don't have a schedule, so I hate you. I mean, no, I don't hate you. It's just hard to pencil people in.
but like the thing about streaming is like you know now so many people that stream. Like when I started, I knew probably 10 people who stream. Now I know
Yeah,
more,
I
and
know hundreds
and
of
we come from
streamers.
different parts of around the world. Like you are an hour forward from me, while I don't know Skizzle is 2 hours back, and like Australians are 12 hours back or 14 hours back. So sometimes for me it's hard to keep up with like everyone's stream, and sometimes like I mean like who those that need to wake up early for work the next day. Sometimes we can't stay very late watching streams because sometimes they start like at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. and I have to wake up at 7 the next day or 6. um, so we try to do our best, but it is impossible to be in every stream, but
No, it
we
is, and
try to work as much as we can.
that's something that when I started off, I literally like this is 11 months ago, and I'm sure, as you said, you only knew like 10 people. I started off, I could basically make most streams. Like if I had two tabs open at once on a computer or something, I could finagle it and make most of everybody's stream. Like timing would work out, and then you learn. Like I went through like a period where I was just frustrated because I couldn't make every stream. Because once, as you said, like I like to sit for an extended period of time. I don't like to just say hi and bye and be like sometimes that it is what it is and that's what happens. But I like to try to
Yeah.
like I'll leave it up while you stream and then like I'll go to bed. So it'll be like a couple hours. You get a whole view from it basically, which
And
helps.
sometimes it's hard just to stay. Like my work is basically in front of a computer editing videos. So like I stayed sitting
Yeah.
down a long time, and then like to stay still sitting down watching the stream, it's just like my body is in pain. So like it's not that I want to hang out. It's like I'm crunchy right now. I need to stretch my legs.
Um. Yeah. It's something that gonna have to work on, but hopefully. And how about you sell your stream to everybody? Why should we go to a RebecaDraws stream? I feel like you've already sold it a little bit, but just this is the question I'm not gonna skip just because you've already told us about the awesome art. Why should we go to a RebecaDraws stream?
um. Okay. Hey kids, have you ever wondered how a Mexican T-Rex looks like while it's drawing? Same me. So if you're curious, you should probably go to this channel called RebecaDraws and just find the answer. You know, he has funny hiccups, very short arms, clumsy fingers, and her stream is a Russian roulette,
Oh
whether
man,
it might continue or not. So who's up for that?
it was awesome. All right, and finally, the last portion of the show, the all important unmasking. Are you ready for your moment of whatever?
I'm ready for my close up, Mr. Cell.
Ready for your close up? Okay, all right, here we go. Let me
Mm.
know when it is time to take off the mask and see RebecaDraws for who she is.
Oh my goodness. Ay Dios. Let me know when it's the time.
No, you let me know when it's the time. This is I take off the mask when you tell me. I don't go, you're taking off the mask. That would be rude.
Okay, I'm ready to take off the mask.
All right.
And hi, I'm Rebeca. I'm a Mexican artist, a 30-something-year-old child who loves art, who loves making friends, who loves traveling and learning from others. Um, I am loving being a streamer on Twitch, and I'm loving the community that has created around me, the confidence that has given me to be who I love to be, and the person I really want to be, my future life. Um, and it is a great space to make friends, to just let yourself try new things, to get out of your comfort zone. And I'm very happy to be here. Very, very blessed of the people I've known, the friends I made. And, if you ever have that little tingly thought in your head of, should I stream, should I not, just try, because you never know what will you achieve. Like you might have one follower, you might have a million followers, but as long as you doing what you love and doing it because you enjoy it, and because the people enjoy seeing it, what you do, everything will be okay, because it's what you love and it's you. So that's me. I am Rebeca, and that's why I wanted to.
Thank you so much, Rebecca, for that lovely. Oh wait, how did I get that there? Thank you for everything, Rebecca. Thank you for the podcast.
And learn Spanish, people. No, just kidding.
Learn Spanish.
Gotta love your mask too.
No, so for real though, this was supposed to be like my starting thing. Like I was supposed to do this in the poem, but I couldn't get it on undone and stuff. But awesome. Thank you so much. I'm glad we were able to learn about you. I'm excited that we got our first ever artist on this. It was different podcast than normal. Obviously, I kind of tried to do the thing where I was like,
You
let's
did
talk
it out
about
of your
art and
comfort
not
zone. I'm
video
so
games.
proud of you.
But I had to talk about Zelda. We had to talk about video games. So thank you again. It was awesome. And I'm gonna have to kick you off, unfortunately, Rebecca. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so
You
much.
do not kick the Ninjacado. The Ninjacado kicks you with
I'm
a
not
flip.
afraid of your flip flop. I had magic computer powers. You ready? You ready? That's right. Where the flip flop